All right, a lot of people use lighter weights to work on form. And I don't really agree with this. Sometimes a beginner does need more reps and more repetition to practice a motor pattern. But if you're no longer a beginner and you get to a certain part where the weight is not piling on, and let's say you're getting dumped forward in a squat, and you just cannot maintain the optimal bar path for your body structure. Form is going to change as you get stronger, let's put it that way. The way I squat has not been the same time. The way I bench has not been the same way my whole life. The way I deadlift has not been the same way. It will change as you put on body weight, as you find more optimal leverages, but that's not what this is about. The best way to make your form better are to increase the strength of the muscles that are allowing your form to break down. Now, for example, if you keep getting pitched forward on the squat, I always tell people, everyone always thinks it's a back strength thing. But if you're getting pitched forward on the squat, your quads are either too weak or you're not initiating them properly. So what's happening is you're getting dumped forward because your posterior chain is stronger than your quadriceps. So your body's going, hey, why am I using these quads when I got a strong-ass posterior chain? So I'm just going to take all the pressure off my quads and throw it onto the back. Now, you can get away with that, but when you're like maxing out or going with heavier weights or close to failure, you're not going to be able to maintain that form. And it's just going to keep breaking down and breaking down. You can only go so far with that. So you always need to find weak links in whatever motor pattern you're trying to strengthen, whether it's the dip, the chin-up, deadlift, barbell row, whatever compound movements are important to you. Now, you could take that a step further. In athletics, every sport, every athlete is going to have different muscle groups they need to prioritize to be better at their sport. Powerlifting, you just happen to have 3 lifts that are part of the sport, squat, bench, and deadlift. But everyone is going to have these muscle groups that are important to them. And that's why I like conjugate training so much. So the reason your form breaks down is because there's a certain muscle group that just cannot handle the load. And what's going to happen, it's not always going to be weak. For example, your bench press, when you start hammering your tricep for weeks on end, your tricep might not be a weakness anymore. It could be leg drive, it could be pecs, it could be shoulders, it could be your upper back. Your weaknesses are constantly going to be changing. So that's why conjugate training, you need to cycle in variations. You need to cycle in different exercises for hypertrophy because your weaknesses will change from time to time. So just because you're failing in a certain way doesn't mean your form sucks. It means your musculature isn't strong enough to support the optimal leverages in whatever lift you're trying to do. So instead of just doing more and more and more reps, try to strengthen the weak links in the chain so the chain doesn't break down.